Don't sacrifice flavor. Don't sacrifice your wallet. We have got you an inexpensive meal that you can put on the table, smoked pork loin with a raspberry chipotle glaze, and it's going to cost you to feed the whole family with mashed potatoes and green beans about $1.20 a piece. What a glorious day it is today, and we just thank y'all so much for joining us. We really appreciate y'all spending some time with us. It means the world to us, it does. You see us in a lot of places, and we have changed the atmosphere back here. We were usually filming over here in the backyard when we weren't at the wagon, over here on the other side of our little patio, but we couldn't control the light. We even had this big old frisbee looking giant kite thing, but backlight was coming in there, and Shan was having so much trouble with the light. So we moved over here. Y'all may remember this. We had it over there on the other side, but we made it a little shorter. Added another drawer, put it back up here, and we got old Glory right there. Oh my gosh, don't she look pretty? So we're excited to be over here. We're gonna add some things to it, make a different table as we get to going here. You know, y'all are family to us, and we trust y'all's opinions. So tell us what we need to add to this to make it even better, because hey, we're all about feeling comfortable, having everything just right. But now it's time, let's talk about some pork. Gloved up. I've heard that sound many times when I went in the doctor's office and I trembled. Oh, I did. But hey, we ain't talking about trembling or examining nothing today besides this beautiful pork loin. About 3.8 pounds is what it is. $8.51 for the whole thing. So this is going to feed about 7 people, and that's a great deal. And I do love pork because it's so inexpensive, and this is a beautiful pork loin. This is a pretty big one, it is. So as we look at this, there's a little fat here, so we're just going to trim just a little. And always be on the lookout too if there's any silver skin. I really don't see it here. Silver skin is like a sinew that's really just laying flat and tight against the meat, and it's really chewy if you leave it on there. So we're just going to trim a little more of this fat off of here. You can see where really there is this chain on the outside, and I'm not talking about a log chain. I'm talking about this piece of meat right here. Now, we could trim that off and make that even prettier. So I'm going to ask your opinion. You behind the bird feeder, what do you think? He's camera shy, he left, but he said we should trim this so it looks a little more uniform. But we will throw this on the grill or on the hasty bake to get it to where it is done, because that right there is pretty good eating. Duker, Mage, this, you'll have to wait for this, but we're actually going to cook that for the pups. We've trimmed this pretty good. There you can see, and I want Shan to come in here. Now you can see this silver skin right up here. So we're going to try to take a little of that off.
Oh, it is really silvery.
Yeah. Now pork is a pretty lean piece of meat if you get to thinking about it. But this is pretty lean. So to me, there's nothing really worse than cooking a pork loin, and I've been to people's houses and I even made the mistake too of overcooking them, and then they dry out and there's not as much juice inside there. But we're going to remedy that situation 2 ways. One is with a sort of a warmed up marinade that we're going to inject all in this pork, and the other, we're going to use our good friends at ChefTemp and put the probe in there to make sure that we don't overcook it. And speaking of ChefTemp, we'd like to thank them so much for sponsoring this video. Now, y'all have seen me use their products so many times. It has made me a better cook, and it has made it easier for me to cook. Today, we're featuring the ProTemp Plus. This is really good for longer cooks because nobody wants a dried out pork loin. You can program it on the app on your phone. It will tell you when it exactly gets to our desired cooking temperature for this pork loin. This will make you the all-star cook of the whole world from sitting in there on your couch just checking it every once in a while. You're not opening the lid on your smoker, losing heat. They have their Brizo fan, which you might have seen me use on our pork butt video, to where it connects to your vent on your smoker, and it will blow air across the coals, keeping your temperature at where you need it to be. And to complement that, they have their S1. It will give you the accurate reading of what you're doing, and if the temperature falls a little bit, the little Brizo fan comes on, heats it up to the right temperature. You know, they're always great to our fans too. Be sure and take advantage of that discount that they're giving all our fans. But hey, we need to get this injectable to going, so let me get this moved out of the way, get my little pot, we'll put this together. Now to start off with this injectable joy juice that we're going to put in this pork loin, we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of butter. Let it just sit there and melt. Then we're going to mix in some apple juice because it's going to bring about a little sweetness that we need. But to even add to that sweetness, we're going to add some brown sugar. But then we're going to add something that gives it a little tang, but I think all pork needs, and that is apple cider vinegar. And you couldn't be even thinking about cooking anything in the world that was going to give it flavor if you didn't put in Justin Wilson's, I guarantee you, W sauce in there, the Loin parents. Pour you some of that in there, and then I'm going to use our rib rub. You can use your favorite barbecue rub if you don't have this. Put a little in there because I need that flavor because it's got some of that chili powder, it's got a little mustard in there. It's going to all bring it together, and when we put it in that pork loin, you're going to see him stand up and dance and be the happy hog from now on. So let's get this on the fire, bring it up to a simmer, then we're going to bring it back over here and inject it in that loin. Folks, I have feared needles this big. I have. I mean, that thing would hurt. Can you imagine getting a shot in the butt with that thing? Whew. But hey, we got to have that. So let me see if I can get some of that drawed up. I have vaccinated many a cow and everything else. So I think maybe so I can do this. Just get her down in there. Give it a little squirt. We got to move this around. You know how the doctor always rubs your shot after you get one? Yeah, he feels better after that. We'll give him a little dose over here. And we're just going to scoot down. I'd say really probably about every 2 inches maybe. There might be some people out there taking Botox because they want like lip filler injections or something like this. Watch right here where this needle is.
Hold on, let me see it.
See that? See that raise up right there? You thinking, boy, that hog's gonna have a great smile. Now we're gonna turn him over. Draw us up some more of this magic joy juice for hogs. Do you like this? Huh? You look awful intense about it. Do you think this is gonna be all right? And I always like to go at an angle. You can go plumb down there through it, but I think it sort of lets the fluid run a little more than just sticking it down in there straight. Now we're going to season. I'm going to start off with my rib rub, and we're going to see which way the wind's blowing, I guess, and give it a good coating, folks. So many people under-season everything they want to cook. Then we're going to roll him right here over. Give him some more. See that end that got left out? He'd be so disappointed if we didn't give him some love too. So get her rubbed around here. Make sure everybody's coated well. After we've got her seasoned with that rib rub, I like to let it come to a glazing point. Let all that seasoning sort of sit there and soak. I'd say 10 to 15 minutes at the max and you'll be good to go. While we're doing that, we'll start as a fire in the hasty bake because I am ready to eat me some hog meat. Got that hasty bake out we did, get us some of that smoky woods hardwood lump, put it right there on one end. Got that burner, fired it up. I want to let it get really good and white. But as we're doing that, letting that fire get ready, I come back over here and I give that pork loin a good coating of our mesquite seasoning. Now you could use any of your favorite seasoning you want or mix you up some salt, pepper, a little garlic powder and some ancho chili powder. Sprinkle it on there pretty heavy. And I'm going to use 2 chunks of apple wood because I really like to pair fruit wood, especially with pork. Either apple or cherry, peach, something like that. I just think it gives it a really sweet, mellow smoke to it. We're cooking on indirect, which means fire's on one end, pork loin's on the other. We're going to try to target this temperature of about 250 degrees, about 30 minutes a pound. So I think we're roughly looking at an hour and 45 to 2 hour cook, but I want it to cook slow. Now, I set this up on the phone for this little probe that we're putting in there, and the ChefTemp people got it figured out. Get on your phone, got the app, you go through there and you're going to cook pork. And then what you're going to cook on pork? Loin. It already has the temperature on there that you want your pork cooked to, 145 degrees. Now, if you wanted yours a little more done, and please don't, you can adjust that to whatever you need it to be. And with this magic glaze that we're gonna put on there, it is the happiest hog ever, and he gonna go, doggies. I done checked on that hog at 1 hour in and flipped him over. That's what you need to do. Maintaining that temperature to 250 degrees. We need to go ahead and mix up this hog topping that's going right there on top. Folks, this is probably one of my most favorite ingredients in the world. Every time I was ever on any cooking show, I'd always make sure they had some of this. I'm gonna use about 2 tablespoons. To that, remember I told you we was gonna have some raspberry? Look here. Smuckers, and they ain't even paying me to say it, natural raspberry. We're gonna get us about...
Willard did the...
Yes.
Is Willard still alive?
I don't know if Willard is or not. He may be, but he always give the Smuckers birthdays. So we're saying about 2 tablespoons is that a well. But also, folks, we gotta have some of this Red River Mud barbecue sauce. And we're gonna put about, I'd say, 2 tablespoons of this also. Now, this is gonna date me a little. But how many of y'all watched Spanky and Our Gang so many years ago? One of the favorite TV shows that was ever created. Alfalfa and Spanky and Stymie was always talking about raspberries. Now, I don't mean they thought it was something that they was eating. It was just a saying they had when something went wrong. So, take your finger. Gosh, we better bottle that stuff and sell it. You could put it on chicken, on beef. This is a home run. So we're gonna keep that pork cooking right along, and when we see on our chef's temp that we have reached 140 degrees, we're gonna crank the heat up a little, put it over there on the direct side of the fire, and we're gonna give it some glazing with this stuff. Then we're gonna let it rest a minute, and I'm gonna cut it, and I ain't gonna share. Fine pork loin it is, but let me back up there a little. When the ChefTemp sort of looked at there on the phone and it said, you are at 137 degrees. That is the perfect time to move it over there to the hot side of the fire, take our glaze that we mixed up, glaze it really good and thick all the way, top, sides, let it set for about 2 or 3 minutes, turn it over, glaze the other side, let it go for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then I take them tongs and I let it up there and I just sear them edges, turn it back over, bring it over here on the cutting board. I let it set about 5 minutes. I'll tell you, the secret to this deal really is the injection that we put in there is going to keep that moisture in there, because you've seen it when we squished it, that moisture was running out of there. This is not a dry pork loin. Hey, I haven't had a bite of this yet, Mage. I got a little of that sauce right here. I am going to... So tender, and there's so much flavor that comes out of that. Now, you can see the crust that we sort of got on here before we ever went to glazing. That really helps seal that meat to protect all that moisture we got in there. This is a very inexpensive meal, so easy to cook. If you follow our instructions, you got you a good probe and thermometer, you're not going to dry it out, and boy, are you going to be proud when you present this plate on the table to your guest. You're eating what I call high on the hog. Well, had a lot of good help out here today before we go any further. And remember that little chain that we cut off that end? You get the first bite. Dooker, there you go. Where is Lulu? Lulu, where you at? Ouch, Lou, you bit my finger. Hey, we'd like to thank the folks at ChefTemp for sponsoring this video. And hey, they have got so many products. Whether you're doing a really short cook and you just need to check a steak, or you're doing a long cook, they have got you covered. But folks, don't forget to take advantage of that coupon they've got down there to get your discount. Hey, they are great folks and we thank them again. But, you know, I've been really thinking about it today as I went along and be cooking. And I want to say a little prayer for y'all. It's pretty short and sweet, but I think we all need to hear it. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, I just lift our viewers up to you, Lord. And I just want you to cradle them in your arms, Lord, and just hold them. Let them know that they make a difference and that they're loved, and we just appreciate them watching. Thank you, Lord, so much. It is with great pride, privilege, and honor that I tip my hat to Old Glory, to all the servicemen and women and all the veterans that have kept that old flag a flying no matter where we are. Rest of you, get on up in here really close because I'm hungry. I ain't eaten since yesterday. God bless you, each and every one, and I'll see you down the pork loin trail. And we got some blue jays out here at the bird feeder. Everybody likes to eat at Cowboy Kent Rollins' house. You know it?